these past 7 years, it's really gone by in a blink. There's so much still left to do. So I want to start by thanking you all for coming out tonight. This is the start of something big and important. 7 years ago, I stepped into my role as First Gentleman of Colorado, and I did so wanting to help animals whenever and however I could. I made sure at that time to emphasize all animals, because I believe every animal is important and worth protecting. So I invited people from across our great state to reach out with comments and concerns, no matter how trivial or too daunting they seem to be. My policy then, as it is now, is if you're calling about helping one animal or 1,000 animals, you'll get time on my calendar. I wanted to let people know that regardless of how previous administrations had handled animal issues in the past, our administration would make them a priority. We are a pro-animal administration. That kind of messaging is important, I think, when we're talking politics. I think that kind of messaging is important because it gives other people permission not only to care about how animals are treated, but to do something about it. Many of the issue areas that get attention are the ones that people feel safe bringing up. They feel as if there's, communal buy-in to the issue. And our work has been to normalize and make the care and concern for animals mainstream, to make it one of those issues that deserves to be discussed and deserve to get airtime, just like all of the other key things like education or housing or what we're paying in taxes or healthcare. When your government signals that it cares, it allows each of us to dream bigger dreams, to aim higher, to go further, to embrace creativity, to not surrender when it feels like we've got nothing left to give. Collectively, we have dreamed together of a kinder and more compassionate world for all animals, and the way that has manifested is really inspiring in its own right. I wanted to share a little bit about these past 7 years with you and what happened simply because our administration said we're open for business for animal protection measures. New university programs like this one, like the CSU Animal Human Policy Center opened. Here at DU, we also had the Institute for Animal Sentience and Protection. And Animals Forward, as I was saying, the bold new certificate program that we are gathered here tonight to celebrate and support. Year after year, it's manifested in more municipal and county ordinances, more and more legislation being introduced to protect animals every year when we have our legislative sessions. It's led to the modernization of Colorado Parks and Wildlife, both in its leadership and in its programming, to address not only the usual suspects who Parks and Wildlife has always been viewed to serve, hunters, trappers, but now everyone who loves to be out in nature, not just the hunters and trappers, but the wildlife viewers, the people who like to bike, mountain bike, or hike, or camp, mountaineers. It's also led to the formation of an entirely new department within the Colorado Department of Agriculture called the Division of Animal Welfare. We've tackled everything from ensuring migratory wildlife have access to their full seasonal ranges by building more wildlife crossings. You heard the governor mention the Greenland Pass, which is now North America's largest wildlife crossing overpass. We've established grant programs to help communities, local communities, coexist with our iconic black bear population. And we've pioneered a state-federal partnership with the Bureau of Land Management that actually invests state money and resources into solutions that allow our majestic wild horses to stay on our home ranges. We've doubled down on protecting pollinators and educating the public about the dangers of neonicotinoid pesticides. We've prioritized non-lethal deterrence over trigger-happy killing of our native carnivores. We've outlawed wildlife killing contests, worked to close out puppy mills and kitten factories from setting up shop in Colorado, hosted pet adoption events at the governor's mansion to highlight the importance of adopt, don't shop, elevated the importance of prairie dogs as a keystone species by showing how they're connected, how their survival enables upwards of 140 other shortgrass prairie species to survive as well. We've championed more affordable access to veterinary care so that we can better honor that human-animal bonds that we all have with our pets. We've made ethics a key consideration in animal policy making. This is perhaps the most exciting, to talk about ethics, the ethics of how we write laws, how we write policies, thinking of animals as individuals, not just numbers in a population figure. We've banned battery cages by passing and implementing cage-free standards for egg-laying hens. We've worked to add the voices most egregiously missing from our boards and commissions. If you look at the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission, historically, it's had seats reserved 3 for agriculture, 3 for sports people, 2 for public at large, and then I think one for a non-consumptive parks user. Well, now our Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission has PhD scientists and JDs specializing in animal conservation and animal law. We have advocates against puppy mills representing both socially conscious and no-kill models of sheltering now sitting on our PATFA advisory committee. We've grown our Bureau of Animal Protection from 1 staffer at a phone for 30 years alone to a team of 5 full-time veterinarians and investigators who spend the majority of their time out in the field investigating cases of neglect and abuse of companion and farm animals. Within our office, I worked with my husband and staff for 4 years. I don't get what I want immediately. It took me 4 years of convincing, but we finally got a full-time position for animals, which is now the Senior Policy Director on Wildlife and Agriculture. And I hope this position continues under future administrations, but I'll give you guys a tip. Whoever is governor next can keep this position or they could toss it, but I believe that it will be up to the advocates to fight for this position to continue to exist. It's tremendously helpful and it's a line into the governor's office. And as so many of you already know, our work these last 7 years really comes down to a singular objective: creating access points all throughout state government to ensure that advocates can continue the work long after Jared and I have left the building, which is in about 10 months. Historically, animal advocates have been shut out from the rooms where decisions were made. Powerful industries that profit from the sale and exploitation of animals have for too long had exclusive access to decision makers. Even now, I'm shocked when I find a livestock association or notorious trophy hunting group has back channels to important officials. And believe me, they never waste an opportunity to turn the process against animals. So we're almost to the end of our time in office, and I thought I cleaned house. And every day I find someone new has weaseled their way in and is making reform difficult, you know? But it's not enough to root out people, and in all honesty, we always appreciate a diversity of opinions, and that's government. You seek compromise together, you work together. But I think it's up to us as animal advocates to offer the public a better alternative than just killing animals. A happier picture of what life could be like for all of us, humans and animals alike, if compassion were a core value. Because animals themselves don't get a seat at the table, the meaning of their lives has often been lost in debates that decide whether they get to live on their own terms, or else be punished for being an animal in an increasingly anthropocentric world. Lasting progress for animals means not allowing the access points that we've worked so hard, and with so many of you, to open, to just vanish without a trace. Whether it's with the going of our administration or the going of one legislator or one program manager, it will be up to the advocates to keep these doors open. There's another piece to this puzzle too. Even as we've worked to get seats at the table for animal advocates, those same advocates have struggled with how to keep their place while still pushing for reform. This is a delicate dance, isn't it? We tend to water down what we ask for so that we're not portrayed as extremists in order to, net some wins for animals, and make incremental progress. But with Animals Forward, this brilliant new executive certificate program, advocates will learn how to compromise better. Will gain the skills necessary to know what to put on the table while not sacrificing the most important part of the work, the part that inspired us to get involved in the first place. We'll be articulate in making our case. We'll come with our facts and figures ready to go, and we'll make the right thing to do the easy thing to do. And we will always remember that we're doing this for the animals, not necessarily for us. We're doing this for the animals whose lives literally hang in the balance. We need to be fair but firm, tactical in how we frame our positions, logical in why we ask for the things we do, clever and adaptable when the opposition throws us a curveball, and dedicated despite the compassion fatigue that I think we've probably all felt at one time or another. Animal advocacy is storytelling. It's science that we read and write about the lives that animals lead, the policies and laws that come from that science, the renovation of institutions that have for too long served industries rather than the lives with which they've been charged to protect, the normalization of caring and compassion in everything from our language to the food we eat, the homes we live in, the communities we build, locally, nationally, and internationally. So I am excited. I'm excited because I want to become a student, Justin. I want a certificate. I need a certificate. And hopefully I have something that I can contribute in this next chapter and share a few of my experiences, and we'll see after I've been able to sleep for a month. Perhaps good ideas will start bubbling back up to the surface. But I am so excited that you guys are doing this, Justin, and Dean Smith and the whole law school. This is just an absolutely thrilling initiative, and I know it's going to be a huge success, building a new generation of super advocates. So with that, thank you all so much. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you for supporting this incredible, brave new certificate program.